Hello, I'm Carla, your Millionaire Mistress, and welcome back to my channel. So recently, Anglian Windows has been sending their young people around the streets locally to try and win business. So even though you might have a £30,000 install of windows on your building, they are still knocking on your door trying to sell you gutters or something else irritating. But what it reminded me of, which I advised each young person who knocked on my door, is I am a fantastic holder of buildings and I am also a fantastic holder of grudges. So when I was 24, I purchased my first house in the UK and they were old like lead crystal windows in the building, and I arranged for Anglian Windows to send a salesperson to my house after work to give me a quote. And as any sensible building owner will do, they will get at least 3 quotes so that they understand what's available in the market and how does that work with their budgets or suit the building. As these young guys have been knocking on the door trying to drum up business, I had to tell them the story. So 24, bought my first house, invited Anglian Windows to send a salesperson to my house. My brother was in the kitchen cooking and I was sitting in the living room, and I had, weirdly, EastEnders on. And at the same time, this chap has given me his spiel, showing me the product, blah, blah, blah. And he kept looking at the telly, looking at me, looking at the telly, looking at me. And then he was like, "Oh, are you going to bring your husband in?" And I said, "No, it's my house. It's my brother." "Oh, are you going to bring your brother in?" "No, it's my house." So then he was like, "Well, can you turn the telly off?" So for a third time, I said, "No, it's my house." And then he was like, "Well, if I come here in my evening ready to show you our products and to give you a quote, I basically expect your undivided attention." And I was like, "Well, that's great. But as I said, this is my house and I can do 2 things at once." So he started muttering under his breath. So at that point, I called my brother. He came in and just stood in the doorway and said, "Is there a problem?" And it ended up with my brother saying to him, "Look, mate, I think it's time for you to leave." And under his breath, this guy was basically bitching about nothing. He was like, "Blah, blah, 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 blah. Oh, you black bastard." Well, which obviously doesn't go down well in a black household. So my brother's like, "Right, mate, open the front door," and was like, "Just get out." So for 25 odd years, every single time Anglian Windows comes anywhere near any of my buildings, I remind the person who is trying to G up some sales appointments, "Please go back and tell your bosses, no, remove our building from your database because your own member of staff called me a black bastard to my face when he was sitting in my living room drinking my cup of coffee." As a sales reminder, probably shouldn't be rude to customers when you're in their building or in their home, or even when you think that a man should be present when a woman is making a decision. Because if you have been told several times that the man is not the decision maker in the purchase or possible purchase, then listen to what the woman says. Over the years, Anglian Windows, not only have I publicly badmouthed them at every opportunity when I hear anyone discussing potentially inviting them to their home, I have also repeated the story that they called me a black bastard in my own home to my face. So, story for the day is be respectful when you have been told several times what the rules of engagement are to potentially win a £6,000 or £10,000 or £20,000 deal. Listen to what the client says, because it's not a joke. They're telling you the facts and the rules of engagement for a reason. So happy days. I'll leave it there for now. Have a good day and I will see you on the next video.